GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
So, Fat Man?
So, sleazy?
Are you fucking, being a bitter, jaded fuck like you were last week?
Yep.
Well, this ought to be a great episode. At least we got Ryan with us, right?
Nope.
Right? Oh, boy. Let's talk about WrestleMania Backlash on The Wrestling Show. Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
It's the Fat Man.
And welcome, everyone, to another wonderful episode. Today on the show, we have the man they call Buckmaster Gotch, Ryan Williams.
Hi, y'all.
We got a wonderful little pay-per-view. We're actually reviewing a pay-per-view for the first time in 3 weeks, it seems.
Woo!
I'm hoping we also have news and rumors.
I got him.
So first question, who actually watched this live?
I'll watch it when I come home from the cabin.
Okay, so close to live? Close enough to live? Fat Man is raising his hand on a fucking audio podcast because that's the fucking dickhead he is. Well done, sir.
Don't talk bad about him. For the 5 minutes that we're going to get along in this podcast, let him wave like he did again. Wave him.
What? You think it's going to be a shit fest on this one? I think I'm going to have to agree with you. So, let's tip it over to the Fat Man. What do we got for WWE Presents WrestleMania Backlash, which is a completely different show than Backlash?
Ugh. I didn't want to watch the pre-show. I didn't either.
That's great. That's well done, sir.
I didn't either. So the card starts off with Sleazy's favorite match, triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley defends against Charlotte Flair and some Asian.
You know what?
Asian.
And the more important question is, how wrong is Sleazy on the marry, fuck, kill of these three?
Absolutely not. You fucking nuts. That's all there is to it.
Sleazy will kill Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair and marry Asuka.
Of course. That is the only correct answer. And anybody else who's incorrect can swallow or hope that their mother swallowed them when they were born.
Well, my mom didn't swallow me and apparently your mom didn't because you're wrong.
Somebody should have swallowed by the sound of this.
Well,
Ryan, what's your opinion? Come on.
I'm glad Rhea Ripley went over.
No, not the match. Marry, fuck, kill.
No one cares about the match.
Okay. See, I'm with you like you had in the chat. I'm just killing Asuka. I really would care less if it's one of... I'd probably marry Charlotte so I could say I was a Flair.
Yeah.
And then...
So, I mean, you're in the consensus with everyone else.
What else?
So everyone else is wrong. Yeah. And if you fucking brought Dave Meltzer on here, he'd say the exact same thing. And you know what he is? A fucking journalist.
You are a fucking mark.
Whoever said I wasn't an Asian mark?
You're a fucking mark.
Yeah. No, these are all facts. I don't know why we're saying stuff we already knew.
Yeah. I mean, you're bringing this up like it's a fucking surprise.
Such a fucking mark. Match went 15 minutes and 22 seconds. Kenton gave it 3.5 stars. Sleazy, you're the women's wrestling enthusiast who loves triple threat matches and there's an Asian in it?
Well, you know where this is going.
Fuck, you picked every one of his boxes
Would have
in, didn't you?
30 stars. It would have been 1 million stars if Asuka won in the Tokyo Dome.
Who the fuck put over Rhea Ripley?
The one person that should have put over Rhea Ripley.
The fuck is wrong with you?
The Asian.
Match was not bad for an opener, but it's a triple threat match, so it was terrible. And wrong kid died, of course.
Wrong kid didn't die. Outside of your blatant Asian love, wrong kid didn't die.
Absolutely the wrong kid died.
Absolutely.
Absolutely the wrong kid. This should have been stacking them up, Charlotte, then Rhea, and Asuka pinning them both definitively.
Wow.
There's
But it
so many
wasn't.
ways that you are wrong on that, sir.
I will admit there might be a little tiny Asian bias there. Just a little bit. But not much.
Rhea winning was the right call. It wasn't bad, but a typical WWE triple threat match. I thought it went too long and it took too long to pick up 2 3/4 stars.
2 3/4.
Yes.
You overrating pieces of shit. I give it 2.5. It was fine for a formulaic triple threat match. You're absolutely right.
You about average rating piece of shit.
Okay, now you can talk about the match. Oh wait, did you already talk about the match? You just said a Raw kid died. Okay, cool.
That's it. That's basically it. I agree with you otherwise. Believe it or not.
SmackDown Tag Team Championships? Dirty Dogs is not what they're called?
They've been called the Dirty Dogs for months.
Yeah.
Not months.
Yes, months.
I don't think so.
100% because
100%.
Probably months, but not months.
No, absolutely. Months. Because they made fun of the fact that Corey Graves couldn't get it right on commentary.
I remember watching the Royal Rumble. They did not say that they were part of the whatever. It don't matter. It's a stupid
absolutely.
name to begin with.
It is a stupid name. You're 100% right. But they've been calling themselves that for months.
16 minutes, 58 seconds. Ken gave it 3.5 stars.
I think he's an overrated piece of shit.
Ryan, you're the tag team wrestling enthusiast.
Fantastic moment. Fantastic title run out of the Dirty Dogs. Just because I got curious, I just looked it up. There was an article posted in February stating that how they were officially known as the Dirty Dogs. So it has at least 3 months. At least they've been going by that.
Not February was last month.
No, because I think it was just after the Rumble they started the name. Because you needed a tag name for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
I don't have a complaint about anything in this match, in their title reign, how they've kind of teased Ray and Don McKevitt. I do like that if they have them a month, that'll be 29 days too long. The Usos need to come beat the fuck out of them right away and start the absolute super stable.
I 100% agree with literally everything Ryan said, except for one thing. That I didn't like the match at all. I thought it was a really dumb way that they did it. But otherwise, it was there for the history. It's absolutely there for the history and nothing more. It's nice that he had this moment with his son. It's nice that we have the first ever father-son tag team. And I'm glad it was Rude and Ziggler that put them over. And I actually, the only thing that I wouldn't necessarily disagree with, I'd be okay with the Usos just slamming them on on Friday and just beating the ever-loving shit out of them and winning the titles. But the Mysterios are a great vulnerable champion tag team because there's really no power guy. There's really no babyface on fire. Dominic is technically the babyface on fire in that spot, but it doesn't seem like it. You know what I mean? So it's actually an interesting dynamic in comparison with a lot of the other heel tag teams on SmackDown. So I would actually like to see them hold it for a little bit before the Usos beat the ever-loving shit out of them and take it.
Again, you're fucking wrong about the match. 3.5 stars. I agree with Canton. They made it interesting enough with a 2-on-1 part to think that Dominic wasn't going to show up, and when he came down, and then they did another interesting part where you didn't think they were going to win, but we all knew they were going to win, but they put a little bit of doubt in it. It was well done. 3.5 stars.
Choke on that, please.
I've been around 3 times on this show.
We won't talk about you, man.
And now, what the fuck? Lumberjack match.
It wasn't a lumberjack match.
Miz versus Damian Priest. 7 minutes and a second. Kent gave it -1 stars.
Overrated piece of shit.
I don't go into negatives. I don't go into negatives, but God, I wrote in the chat that this was a dud. I wrote down dud before the match even started. And I did not change.
Overrating piece of shit.
I don't go in negative stars.
I don't care. You're an overrating piece of shit. Well done. You're still an overrating piece of shit. Also, visual comedy doesn't work on an audio podcast. You idiot. It's like you're a zombie. Speaking of which, how's Resident Evil 8?
Is that Resident Evil 8 going to get more talk time than this match? I mean, I understand why, but
I think Fat Man's using it as a masturbatory material lately.
Oh yeah.
I've heard that about.
I still
fuck the zombies.
Fucking
They were promoting that Army of the Dead shit right in the opening promo. They had a fucking every fucking match. They had to do 10,000 fucking split screens to put Army of the Dead, and you had to do this. You fucking had to do this? No, you didn't fucking had to do it. The only reason this was a lumberjack match, promote the god-awful fucking movie that's gonna be fucking garbage and no one's gonna see, even if it's on fucking Netflix. Fuck you. The match was fucking stupid as fuck. It's one of the worst matches I've ever fucking seen in my life. And on top of that, Miz tore his ACL in the match.
Ooh. I did not know that. I did not know that. That's a huge
On top of that,
yeah.
Joe Gacy made his fucking WWE pay-per-view debut.
Fuck you. I was going to say that. You know I was going to say that. That's why you took that one.
Fuck you for that thing. It was trash. It was garbage.
So this is the point where I want to point out that I did not watch this live. I could have watched this live, but I didn't. You know why?
You were too busy jerking off to the Miss America peg.
You're damn fucking right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick review of the... What's that?
No, an Asian didn't win that, by the way.
No. So funny story about that. So you're supposed to put over at least 2 or 3 Asians to the semifinals. Not even Miss Philippines made it. What the fuck? And then you get to the top 5. 3 of them are South America, and 1 was a dark horse candidate in Miss Mexico that I chose. To be fair, I chose from the beginning. And I rode that motherfucker all the way to the top. Miss Universe 2021, the 69th annual Miss Universe. Nice. Up top, my brother. is Miss Mexico. And it was 50 million times better than this fucking garbage. This probably set WWE back 30 years.
Okay, Jericho, shut the fuck up. And no, it didn't.
You.
I was this close, like so close to fucking going to tweeting Jericho going, but the mimosa match was the fucking most brilliant fucking thing ever.
It was better than this.
I'm not saying it wasn't.
No. You can't sit here and give shade to Jericho over a mimosa match when this fucking thing was worse.
No, this thing was worse. But you can't be a part of something really bad and be like, oh, that was bad too.
Yeah, he knows what bad is.
He's been in the business for 37 billion years.
You don't think Jericho has had a bad match before in 37 years?
I'm not Travis. Of course he has.
I didn't say that.
I don't suck Jericho's dick like Travis does.
I'm walking away from this one.
He's on the show. Fuck him.
He was on last week.
And if he was on the show, I'd still say it.
He would.
I would agree with that too. But he knows bad, so of course he's going to throw shade at this.
It was bad.
It was real bad.
It was terrible.
Why was the Miz being eaten?
Zombies.
I don't understand.
Zombies wanted to eat somebody. They ate the Miz.
Oh yeah. And speaking of that,
the only thing I would be eating in that ring is Asuka's pussy.
That's a lot.
Maybe Io Shirai as well. Oh, by the way, Japanese commentary brought to you by Kairi Sane.
Oh, yeah. I mean, take out the fact that it was zombies. I like the match.
Fuck you.
Really. The zombies just kind of, everybody's got a stink in their mind about, oh, it's zombies. If you don't call them zombies, you're just regular workers. It's the exact same fucking match. It is.
I don't remember Joe
from a
Gacy having
dud.
a flesh fetish.
So it goes from a dud to a half star. Cool. The in-ring work was still fucking
It was still bad. Yeah. And I don't understand that because I wonder if Miz got hurt early enough that it affected the work.
Well, apparently it's when Priest did like a spin kick off the top or something and Miz kind of like, I don't know.
You watch it. He lands on him and Miz grabs for his knee right away. And that's when all, like, everything else, like the momentum and the pace of that match just stopped. And then when he went to hit the fucking crossroads or look at the lights or whatever the fuck he's calling it, you see Miz limping there trying to keep the weight off his knee to take the move. When he takes the move, he barely like touches that knee off the ground, and his knee was fucked. So obviously the zombies are going to eat him. It's an easy target. Mm-hmm. I'll give it out of
Well done, sir. Well done. 5 stars for the reaction.
SmackDown Women's Championship, Bianca Belair goes against Bayley. 16 minutes and 2 seconds. Sleazy is a women's wrestling enthusiast.
So obviously Bianca needed a huge fucking win over another one of the 4 horsemen. I think the finish took away from it as always because we can't have a fucking finish without it being botched in a women's match lately. It's like, what the fuck? But I love the fact that they're still playing with Bianca Belair's braid again. I enjoy her work. I know Fat Man's going to shit all over it, so whatever. I'm going to be the positive one of the two, I guess. But it was a necessary win that Bianca needed to show dominance in a division that she's just barely been a part of. And it's 3.5 stars, by the way.
Overrating piece of shit.
Here we go.
Sloppy at times, but I still thought it was a good match. 3 stars.
Suck a dick. You know what? Seriously.
So earlier in the show, you call us overrated pieces of shit, and we were a quarter star off. Now we're a half star off, and you're telling me to suck a dick.
Yes.
So, again, you're wrong.
Mine was out of jest. Yours is out of absolute, total...
Again, you're wrong.
Yours is a shoot. Mine was the work.
You're wrong.
How am I wrong?
You're always wrong. You're sleazy. Ryan.
Good little sentiment to have her go over Bayley because Bayley is a strong champion. I really see Bianca Belair being champ to like till SmackDown. Till SummerSlam. Yeah. Yeah, she only holds the belt to SmackDown, but it's one reign, that's it. I see her having the belt till SummerSlam. I really do. Like, you got a parade of people you can throw in that hasn't really run through the division a lot. Names that you don't really need, so you have to go back to the Bayley, or you have to go back to the Sasha as a big name. You know what I mean?
Who do you think takes it off of Belair?
Sasha at SummerSlam, or in around that area, just to give her a nice little another run again. But you don't want to make a star. You're not going to make a star off of a made star like Bianca Belair. It needs to be somebody half like that natty, those that like not top level, but there that can be put in top level at a moment's notice.
I think it's going to be Naomi.
Another one, same thing, that is a top level, but not a top level, if that makes sense. Like, been around a while.
I really do think that they'll have a showdown in SummerSlam and Naomi's going to win.
Heel Naomi? She's going to join the Bloodline?
Yes.
I'm Moen Spells backwards. You said it wrong, you fuck. Wrong again!
Either that or Eva Marie.
Anyway, because fuck you.
WWE title match. That's a triple fucking threat.
Bobby Lashley defends against Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman. Match at 14 minutes and 12 seconds. Ken gave it 4 stars. Sleazy loves triple threat matches.
I hate them. I hate them with a passion. This is no different.
I was just going to say, I've never heard him say one good thing about a triple threat match ever.
Guess what? I didn't like this one either.
There was no Asian in it.
I mean, there's a black guy in it.
Yeah, no, well, he likes the BBC also.
I don't know what that stands for.
British Broadcasting Channel, duh.
The finish was one of the most obvious finishes that they always do with fucking triple threat matches, but I'm glad that Lashley won. I believe he needed another big win that wasn't just Drew, and having Braun in there while, I thought was interesting that they had, Strowman get pinned by Lashley. So.
Oh, Strowman was in there to take the fall.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't expect that from Braun, though. You know what I mean?
Well, they have to keep the Drew and Lashley feud going, so they're not going to have.
I get what you're saying is you don't expect it out of Braun, but when you look at that 3 people in the match, don't tell me you thought somebody else could get pinned.
No, but I mean, Lashley's gone over Drew clean before. Well, as
Drew's
clean as it's going to be. So, I guess my point is that the end result is something I like. Lashley winning. Doesn't matter who he really pinned. I think they need to get away from Lashley Drew, though. I think there's enough challengers out there that they can have a lot of people step up to Lashley and get fed to him. So I want to see where they go with this. I hope it's not another Drew Lashley.
It is.
Match.
Hell in the Cell. You know it's going to be that.
I don't want it to be, but you know how they're going to do it. We need to have the 6th match in the series, you know?
Star rating.
You're going to shit all over it no matter what I say. Pick one.
All right. Sleazy gives it an okay match for a house show. You underrated piece of shit. Great match. Another typical WWE title match. It was tense action filled from the start, and it worked well.
I don't complain much. I don't. Do I? I often complain about stuff?
I just think it's funny that you lead with that.
My problem is with Lashley's title reign, and it's the same thing I'm going to say about Reigns' title reign, is that these guys have been built up to be absolute monsters. It's hard to have them cheat to win because of how they've been set up. So, like, for somebody to take them, they kind of painted themselves in the corner for Lashley. It's got to be Drew. Drew's got to be the one to take the belt off. Well, nobody else is going to touch him. For Reigns, it's setting up that it's got to be Rollins. It has to be this established name. Anybody they put in front of him, they might get a good match out of him, and they might get a good rub for the eyes that are seeing him. But until your name is Seth Rollins or your name is Drew McIntyre, don't expect to see a heavyweight title change over the next 6 months.
It's fair. It's fair criticism.
They're waiting for fans to come back in for a pop.
I can only hope that's what they're waiting for with Cesaro.
Yeah.
Look how the Otis thing went for him. But the only reason Tamina's getting a push is because they chanted for her at WrestleMania. Like, it's fickle as fuck. WWE should just do what they are doing. Fuck everybody else. Run your storylines. If people bitches about movies after a fact, well, I didn't like that, it's not like they can change it mid-fucking movie. It's already out. Wrestling, I understand that listening to your crowd during some matches, but, like, you do all these shitty things sometimes to try to be like, oh, we listen to our fans, and then you don't pull the trigger on another. It's a headache.
It's one circle jerk after another, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree with it, and Cesaro's a great case for that, especially after how the finish went with this. Have we actually started talking about the Universal title? Because
Universal Championship, Roman Reigns defends against Cesaro.
Thank you. Of course the match was great, but the conclusion was foregone. You know, there was no way Jay Briscoe was going to win the Ring of Honor title, and there was no way Cesaro was going to win the Universal title either.
Well, one of those was true, though. One of those did happen.
The other one was Cesaro. My problem with it, well, here's the thing. It won't be a problem if, and this is a big if, this is the beginning of a redemption story for Cesaro to win the Universal title.
It's not.
Bitch, you want to bet on it?
I said in the chat, well, I was wrong, but I thought that this was going to be where Jimmy comes back, they reunite the Usos fully, he helps Roman win the title, retain the title, and it didn't matter who was in that spot, but you might as well put Cesaro in there because it'll kind of give him a rub. He lost clean. What redemption is there?
He got the shit kicked out of him by 3 people afterwards.
Yes, but mostly Rollins, and they're going to face off at Hell in a Cell.
I
Cesaro
think
will most likely win that. And you know what that means? Rollins will probably face fucking Reigns.
I think it's the beginning of Cesaro beating the ever-loving shit out of Seth and winning another opportunity against either Reigns. No. Well, we don't know when Money in the Bank's going to be.
Is. I was going to say, because June's Hell in the Cell, Extreme Rules is July.
Right.
SummerSlam is August. Was it? Could be September, October?
I think this is
late Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an arc where Cesaro wins it at SummerSlam. That's where I'm thinking. Because it would be a perfect time to do it. They're pretty much penciling in the fact that there's going to be fans at SummerSlam. It would be the perfect time to pull the trigger. and he gets a 1 month title reign and then, or loses it to Reigns the next night or the following week or something. I see them doing a quick switch on him for obvious reasons, but I do believe they're going to strap the title on him.
I don't see it right now.
I know you don't.
I mean, he may win Money in the Bank later in the year and cash it in. I can see that, but the SummerSlam thing I don't see.
Here's the problem, because now is the time to put the belt on Cesaro. When you can't really, you can control what the fan noise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you even have to control the fan noises because I think they're behind Cesaro enough to be able to legitimately get huge pops out of it.
I agree with that. I just don't think they're going to do it at SummerSlam. That's my only thing. I think it will happen. I just don't think it will happen as quickly as SummerSlam.
You think it's going to take a year?
No, later in the year.
Like when?
I think he's the one going to win Money in the Bank. No, he's going to win Money in the Bank, and that night he's going to cash in.
Oh, that night?
That night.
Okay. The problem ends up being, and I know we talk about this a lot, but the Money in the Bank briefcase on a face does not work as well as it normally does. Yeah. I really do enjoy it when it's a heel doing it because there's always that moment of the shitbag heel's going to run down and cash in.
Mm-hmm.
So to have Cesaro hold it, I don't think would work. I think from a storyline perspective and from the character perspective, I don't think it would work because the entire point of Cesaro is he's spent this long time trying to grab the brass ring, so to speak, and doing it the right way. The Money in the Bank thing seems like a cop-out.
Cesaro winning the Money in the Bank, I agree with the whole, that's going to be the same night. That's not going to be anything else. That's not going to be him waiting and waiting and waiting. He's going to say it. I'm cashing this in when this match is done. There's not going to be a surprise come out of Cesaro with that. I don't envision.
Honestly, where I would see him winning is the Rumble. He could win
the Rumble?
Yeah, win the Rumble. Because that would work with the storyline arc. Is that he's fought so hard, he's finally got the opportunity at Rumble. And you could tell a couple of stories between that and Mania with somebody trying to shitbag him out of it. Whether putting it up or...
Shitbag him out of it.
You know what I'm talking about. Just, you know what? You're a jerk, so therefore you should put up your Rumble spot.
You're
the jerk.
I know.
What'd you think? Well, said the match was great. What'd you give it?
I gave it 3 3/4 stars.
Lower than I thought you would give it.
Yeah. It still wasn't an amazing match. It's still... I still have problems with Reigns' current run and how he works in the ring. There's too much talk.
I think it works well with no crowd.
Yeah, because
I think he's actually telling the story better like that.
Yeah.
But when there's a crowd, I think it's... I gave it 4 stars, so that's why I thought you were going to shit on my 4 stars.
Oh, wow.
But that's why I was like, lower than I thought you would be. But, yeah.
It was a good match. I just don't think it was blow off your socks, oh my God, we should start coming in the aisles, type of match.
Right.
The WWE title match should have main event.
No, I don't think so.
You had 2 heels winning the 2 main matches, so I don't think it would have mattered.
Yeah, I don't.
I think it's hard to finish a pay-per-view with a beatdown, though. I will say that.
And you wouldn't have got that with the WWE title match.
Right. You would have had just Lashley winning, and that would have been it. I don't know. I think it was a shocker to end the pay-per-view with like that. But I'm not necessarily against it. It's different. Let's just put it that way. It's different, and different sometimes is good, sometimes it's not. I'm not sure how I feel, honestly, about that. About swapping the two.
Okay. Overall thoughts on the show?
Kind of a poor showing. Couple of matches were decent to good, but all in all, too many triple threat matches and wrong people dying.
Generic WWE pay-per-view, like, it was a WWE pay-per-view, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People are going to find stuff to bitch about because it's just WWE. Other people are going to find stuff to bitch about because there was stuff on the show where bitching. I mean, it's sports entertainment. They don't try to pretend like they're anything else. So, like, everything's par for the course for them.
I mean, this pay-per-view had something special that no other pay-per-view had. The return of the ECW Zombie. Well, if you thought that show was bad, at least listen to this wonderful ad.
So let's talk about Bruce Mitchell and Dave Meltzer.
So I'm not 100% aware of the story. I do know Meltzer, for some god-awful reason, interviewed him and basically put him over almost. Basically took his apology and said, yeah, you don't really need to apologize for that.
What apology?
Yeah, exactly. This is not an apology.
Give context to it, though.
So basically, I gotta look up the actual.
So I'll.
Do you have the quote?
I don't have the quote, but the thing is like Meltzer interviewed Bruce Mitchell, and then they talked about Brody Lee, and Bruce Mitchell pretty much shat on Brody Lee and told his wife a liar about the whole COVID and reason how he died. And pretty much Bruce Mitchell not only doubled down on it, but tripled down on it, saying he stuck by his gun, saying that he believes he's right. And Meltzer's all like, yeah, you don't got to apologize. I think that's kind of the gist of it. And people were pissed, and then I guess apparently started to unsubscribe to his newsletter and stuff like that.
It got so bad that Alvarez pulled the show. So there was a shit ton of backlash over it. Dave, as of 3 days ago, hasn't released any statement after it. But Alvarez said, well, because he's Dave Meltzer and fuck him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it fucking ridiculous. Why do we need to rehabilitate Bruce Mitchell of all people into a career? What the fuck are people thinking here? My goodness. I don't know. I mean, he wrote a column that was so bad that Wade Keller cut him fucking loose. Wade and Meltzer go back decades. When Wade said, he's a piece of shit, we don't want him anymore, what was Dave thinking?
He's Dave Meltzer. He's thinking about clicks, click.
$12.99 a month, motherfuckers.
Yep.
$12.99 a month. Like a particular WCW executive said, controversy creates cash.
New Jack passed away.
That's a big hardcore icon, guy.
I'm waiting for Stacey's reaction.
You aren't getting one from me.
And that's Stacey's reaction. Okay. And Don Cernuto passed away also.
Don, I didn't know all that well. I didn't.
NWA. He was Sergeant Slaughter's partner.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That sucks. Terrible.
Eddie Edwards apparently has appendicitis, and he will be out indefinitely.
Ooh. That's not fun either.
No. Apparently, I don't take this with a grain of salt.
As usual.
The executive producers in AEW, which is Cody, Omega, Young Bucks, they're not talking to each other, and they're not communicating with each other.
Realistically, they're not really intertwined that much with each other. They don't really have much to talk about with each other outside of the Bucks and Omega, and that's just kind of depends on the week that they want to be together on TV. So, like, they don't really have a need to talk to each other that much, especially with their own stuff.
Right.
Well, you hear some people gossip about it, and they're like, well, it's costing them stars wanting to sign to them. What? What the fuck are you guys talking about? There is, first of all, if they're going to play that up at all, great. Wonderful. Why don't you play it up? And that's kind of what Cody was doing on Twitter. So, cool. Maybe you turn it into an angle later. No one gives a shit.
I feel like they're not even pushing talent away. What's the point of going to AEW now? Oh, you're a mid-carder and you want to be higher? Guess what? You're going to be a mid-carder that books his own mid-card shit. That's the only fucking difference now.
Yeah.
We're going to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys want that, though. That's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of guys left WWE, was they felt like they had no control over their careers.
And they're fucking idiots.
They are.
You're going to get more attention to WWE than you are anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely correct, but people are weird. People have egos in the wrestling business. I know that's a new concept, but apparently it's rampant. I didn't know that there were egos in professional wrestling.
Sleazy's mind was just blown. Like he blows BBC's.
I'm shocked. Well, I'm not really that shocked.
Apparently, Jericho dislocated his elbow, but he's still going to be working double or nothing.
So that means no Judas
effects. I'm very glad that mattress he landed on dislocated his fucking elbow.
The worst part about... Okay, so we didn't actually talk about the Blood and Guts match at all. But I do... I don't know why we didn't. I
still haven't seen it.
Well, I
just saw the bump.
Yeah, I saw the bump. And while... Okay, first of all, how old is Jericho?
50.
Too old to be doing that shit.
Ryan's answer is correct.
Well, maybe he's Murtaugh. Anyone get the reference?
No.
Lethal Weapon?
No.
I'm too old for this shit. And then he does it anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
And he does it anyway.
But the point being is, there's no way he's going to take that bump on actual anything other than mattresses, okay? Let's be honest here. The fact that he did it was great. The only problem with this spot has nothing to do with anybody else other than the camera angle. You shoot it from a different camera angle, nobody talks about it. MJF looks like a fucking monster and a fucking dickhead. They go off the air. Jericho's lying in a pile of rubble. Fade to black. That's the difference between... What's that?
Didn't they tape that match?
No. They taped everything but the Blood and Guts match. The Blood and Guts match was live.
That then. They should have taped the Blood and Guts match and did everything else live.
Yes, but they did.
It's AEW.
No. That show, even the stuff that was taped, the crowd reaction on the stuff that was taped was the live crowd.
Yes.
They watched it on the screen and all the reactions you were getting. So you wouldn't have been able to do that reverse. See?
The reason why they didn't do it that way was because apparently the cage was a pain in the ass to set up in Daly's place. So to take it down after the actual Blood and Guts thing or put it up before the match would have been a nightmare and would have killed the crowd. So I understand to an extent why they did it that way. But still, I mean... This is the difference why Kevin Dunn is the number 2 executive in WWE. Because shit like that, while he gets a little cut crazy at times, at least he doesn't expose the business from a production side like that. Shit happens, yes, especially when it's live, but it's definitely a problem with a director that hasn't been in the business that long. So
It's Keith Mitchell.
fuck him then.
He was in WCW. How can you say he wasn't in the business that long? WCW went out of business 20 years ago.
Yeah, and what has he been doing since?
TNA? He's still been working the wrestling business. So, no excuses.
No, I give him all the excuses.
I mean,
he worked for WCW for Christ's
and
sake.
TNA. Yes.
Come on. What the fuck?
Okay. But still.
So basically, he hasn't been in the business that long, is my point.
ROH will have fans back at Best in the World on July 11th.
They better come out with a banger of a pay-per-view / Joe showing off that night.
Really, yeah. Basically.
Yeah, they need something good. 3 more. WWE possibly returning to Saudi Arabia later this year.
They have to. They have a contract.
Yeah.
10-year contract, and you'll get at least one good match that you did not expect to be a good match.
Yeah, because I guess there's like live events and concerts going there sometime in like September or something. So,
If they're fully vaccinated, it doesn't matter.
Well, they didn't. Well, I know, but like because of the pandemic. But yeah, since everything's opening back up, it makes sense. Zelina Vega is reportedly coming back to WWE. She was at the Performance Center earlier this week.
I find that funny for them shitting on they let a bunch of people go this time and blah, blah, blah. But, like, half of them always come back within a year. Like, they just do it to free up some money, realize they got free money, go, you want to come back under a new contract? Sign the new contract. Yeah.
We're going to ignore the cat in the back of the room here.
Hey, Bubba.
Yeah, you know, this is an audio podcast. Nobody would have seen the cat.
Yeah, but we all reacted to it, though.
But yeah, that's what it is. Anybody let go now, and they come back within 3 months, it's just so they signed the new contract deal, because they want certain things kind of the way that WWE wants them, and Zelina Vega is one of the bigger ones that they'd rather have. Because she hits that mainstream with, like, the video games and stuff like that, and the cosplay, right? So she is going to bring in a different audience, so get her in, cut a deal with her that makes her happy. You can fucking make it work for Woods, make it work for her.
Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you that her contract's going to be a lot different than other people that are coming in for that reason alone.
So, yeah. One more. So, Sleazy, you know we talked about possibly going to SummerSlam this year?
Yes.
It may not be in Madison Square Garden.
Then we don't have to go.
Possible locations are any major city in Texas, San Antonio, Dallas, Houston.
Because they're open.
Phoenix.
Because they're open.
And Vegas.
In the new stadium?
So here's the report I read, is that they want to have it in a stadium.
Okay.
An open-air stadium.
Vegas is an open air, is it?
No, it's a fixed-roof stadium.
Yeah.
So that's why, but if they want to have it somewhere. So even San Antonio doesn't have an open air stadium. They have the Alamo Dome. It's fixed. You can open up AT&T Stadium in Dallas, but you're having Mania there, so they ain't going to Dallas.
Right.
Houston, you go to either Reliance Stadium or Minute Maid Park. Phoenix, you'd go to Chase Field. So, yeah.
Do you think
Boston, Fenway? Like, would they go to a baseball stadium?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Park, Chase Field.
Well, Ford Field. Had a WrestleMania there.
It's a fixed roof stadium.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's a baseball stadium, though.
It's a football stadium.
Ford Field is? In Detroit?
Yes.
I thought they did baseball there, too.
Nope. Across the street's Comerica Park.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I mean...
Outdoor kind of gives them more leeway, too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of restrictions, So
currently, as it stands, if you're not aware, if you're not aware and you're American, you haven't been on Facebook because everyone's been screaming about it. But if you are vaccinated, and that's the key, the CDC guidelines have basically relaxed to pretty much nothing. Unless you are in crowded areas or in a school, you can basically have your mask off. If you are unvaccinated, you still have to wear the mask. You still have to socially distance. So what a lot of the big arenas are doing, and this is happening tonight, even in Rochester, because the opening day for the Rochester Red Wings is tonight, is that there's a vaccinated section where they're basically all happy without masks and they're basically all golden. And then there's the leper side, which is the unvaccinated people 6 feet apart with masks. And
The leper side.
it's hilariously stupid. I mean,
Or you just be like, everyone have a mask 6 feet apart for now.
Well, that's
but
the
I
thing.
get it. I get it, though.
It's a revenue thing.
You can get more
funny.
people in the stadium.
Yeah. So
Shit's opening up down there for you. It's funny, and like things are going. I use like here for Newfoundland as an example. Travis is having a wrestling show in a couple of weeks.
mhm.
Only allowed to have 80 people at the show, but they're opening up full fucking hockey arenas. We're on an island. Like COVID is, unless somebody flies in from another province and fucks us for a couple of weeks, we're on an island. We barely see COVID. We're usually pretty good with it. We can only have 80 people at a wrestling show, but 10,000 people can be like, go shitty hockey team.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that's what New Zealand ended up doing. And that's why they were able to keep it kind of contained for themselves. And they opened up way back months and months and months ago because they could. So,
Sure.
I just read somewhere online that Canada isn't going to allow fans for the NHL playoffs up in Canada.
No, I don't think they'll be allowing fans at all. Like, come next season, too, it's the same thing. The government won't cave on them crossing the border. So we got to have an all-Canadian division again next year.
they're still like negotiating with our government, specifically our state, because of the land border between New York and Canada.
Mhm.
Trying to get people over because people are getting over there. Funny enough, there's a very strange loophole going on in Canada right now where if you are a Canadian citizen and you fly back into Canada from the US, you have to stay in a hotel for the full quarantine and you have to pay for it. And it's like something ridiculous, like $1,500 for the 2 weeks. However, if you drive across the border and you're a Canadian resident, it's only 3 days and you don't have to stay in one of those sponsored hotels.
Yep.
So what people are doing is they're flying to Buffalo and then taking a $400 Uber across the border to cut the cost of the $1,500 fucking hotel room.
Foolishness, but like, it's just ridiculous how this shit is going.
Yeah. Well, people were complaining about the CDC guidelines, them changing very quickly within 2 weeks. People are complaining about different mandates, whether or not they should be there, they shouldn't be there. Other people are complaining about, well, this is just going to allow people that never wanted to get the vaccine to lie about getting the vaccine. There's so much garbage everywhere. You can't get to any place that has registered users on it and not get some 50,000 different opinions on what coronavirus is, was, will be, and whether or not you should be wearing masks, whether or not you should get vaccinated. It's ridiculous. And I, for one, am sick of it at this point. It's gotten to the point where I don't even want to go on Facebook anymore. I'm barely on there now as it is to promote our shows. Speaking of which, Facebook.com/SleazyFatman. Plug.
Fuck
Like
Facebook.
butt
Anything else?
No. Done.
That's it? We're done?
Done.
Ryan, what is your
Ryan
Twitter?
Buck 85.
Thank you. I'm at TWS Sleazy,
TWS Fat Man.
and the show is at Sleazy Fat Man on Twitter. You can also find us on Instagram at Instagram.com/sleazyfatman. You can also find us on Reddit at r/The Wrestling Show. We did actually do a live discussion there on Sunday night. We had one person come by and promote their Snapchat and then leave. So that's good. At least we're getting bots. It's fine.
At least we're getting bots.
At least we're getting bots. But yeah, check us out all over the place. TheWrestlingShow.com actually is down right now because I forgot to change over some settings. So it'll be back up soon. But you can always find us on GearNetwork.com or any place that you get your podcasts. And always make sure you click that subscribe and download button to make sure that your hot and fresh episodes get right to your device. Yes. So that's pretty much it. So with thanks to Ryan and for Sleazy,
For the Fat Man.
this is The Wrestling Show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.
Fuck Kenny Omega.
I'm a truth that you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in your gun. I'm the pain in the game. The bloodshed in your name. When there's nothing to gain, I'm a well-gone
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.